All right, hello everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Replay. We're going to be playing Spyro the Dragon today. I'm going to be your host, Tim Turi. I'm joined here by Andrew Reiner.
Hello, Tim.
And Philip Kollar.
Hi, I am here.
All right, so as you can see, hopping into it, Insomniac Games. This is actually Insomniac Games' second title that they made, following Disruptor from '96, which is like a first-person sci-fi shooter.
It's one of the first FPSs on PlayStation.
We'll have to hit that one up for replay at some point.
Yeah, we definitely
I've never seen that game.
And this is actually one of the first successful 3D platformers for the PlayStation era.
So this game was out post Mario 64, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out 2 years later.
All right.
Oh.
Got the microphone in the shot there.
Good sense of humor, Insomniac Games. Spyro so rambunctious. Oh boy, that sheep really got it, guys.
Oh, I get it.
I didn't know they had facial hair. Because you learn something new about dragons every day.
When you get older, you do.
One of the things to keep in mind here is that this game is really immoral. Like, these dragons are not wearing pants, standing up straight so you can see their junk. Like, it's not...
Well, I mean, they're hiding the camera view. You know, they're doing a good job of... if they pan down a little bit, it'd be bad, but...
They do that sometimes, though, is what I'm saying. Look at that. Oh.
Well, see,
Well, look at that.
Hold on, he's gonna talk. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Watch out. Watch out, Nasty Nork.
We're about to go on an adventure with Spyro.
And in case you feel like you may have recognized that voice, he's actually voiced by Carlos Alazraqui, who is the voice of the Taco Bell Chihuahua. He did Rocco in Rocco's Modern Life. He plays Deputy Garcia in Reno 911. He does stand-up and stuff.
So do you think, the later Spyro games that have followed, there's been like 13 of them or something like that, they cast Elijah Wood as Spyro the Dragon? Do you think they listen to that voice? Like, who sounds like that?
Kind of like reverse engineering?
Yeah, like that Hobbit guy. Let's get that little Hobbit guy.
I don't know. He's a hard one to replace. What did you think of Elijah Wood's job as Spyro?
It was okay. It didn't have the boyish charm of this Spyro. You could definitely tell that Elijah Wood has maybe had a beer in his life. He's experienced life.
Unlike Spyro,
he knows how to drive.
But that's really they gave Elijah Wood the Spyro spot when they were trying to make Spyro a little bit more mature.
Oh, what a mistake!
They did the reboot.
Yeah, you go with like Jason Statham or something like that. You don't pick Elijah Wood to try to mature something.
Well, they did the reboot where he starts killing criminals, and that was a big change, I know, for Spyro.
I mean, I can see wanting to take a series like Zelda or something in a more mature way, or Metroid or something, but you look at a game like Spyro where all of its charm is derived like from the kiddie aesthetics. I
don't know if they actually tried to make it more mature. I was just making it.
Oh. Well, I mean, it grew up a little bit, but...
Certainly.
So Spyro's a little purple dragon, in case you noticed. Mostly, turns out dragons aren't purple. They're usually green, but they didn't go with green because he blended too well with the grass.
Oh.
Is that really where the choice came from?
That's what they say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That waterfall's something else back there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it's moving. Oh, it froze during that cutscene.
In case you weren't aware of the dragon mythology, whenever a dragon is talking, water ceases to move. Yeah, one of those just rare little pieces of dragon lore.
So to like cross oceans, do they just keep talking like the entire time? They got to kind of like hustle across them.
You went into a new area.
Yeah, we're going into Stonehill.
Who is the little like firefly thing that you have next to you?
That's Sparks.
All right.
Sparks is not only...
So is he Navi for this game, basically?
He's kind of Navi, but he is way more useful than Navi. He actually indicates Spyro's health. Oh. So Golden is going to be...
and he grabs all the gems.
Yeah, that's very handy.
And he likes to eat... well, he doesn't eat sheep. He eats what sheep leave behind,
Butterflies.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, so when you kill any kind of creature...
Yeah, like the fodder
wildlife
animals.
or anything, they leave behind butterflies, right?
Here we go.
Is that how you regain health then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Sparks eats it and gets another hit point.
Yeah, this is so satisfying. Oh, that was my favorite thing doing this. I played this game religiously back when it came out.
I remember back in the day being really impressed with this game's camera tracking. Back in the day, there was a lot of like spinning the camera in 3D games, even Mario 64. But this one did a really great job of tracking you and framing the action, and it never really seemed like a hassle.
From what I was playing earlier, though, there's not that much control over the camera in this, and I sort of wish there was more control. Like, maybe that's just something that I'm used to now. Used to having, like, having the ability to spin the camera with the right analog stick.
Yeah.
If I can never touch a camera, I'm fine with that. Like God of War or anything like that, I'm different. I'm cool with that.
I like in the Ratchet and Clank games, for example, I like just totally babying the camera, keeping track of it the whole time.
Yeah, I've babysat a lot of cameras in my day, and when a game can do it well, I definitely... Sometimes when I hear about a game coming out where you don't have to handle the camera at all, I get happy about that. But this game, you can... I mean, yeah, it's pretty much just R2 and L2. You just kind of rotate it. But it's mostly to look around. Like Reiner was saying, it did a really good job of framing it.
I believe one person on the team, his or her entire job was to work with camera collision and make sure the camera always worked right.
Interesting.
And that was like one of the first times you heard that in the game was with Spyro.
Well, that was one of the biggest issues of games like Spyro that were trying to go into an open 3D world. You know, you had games of the same era like Crash Bandicoot, which were pretty linear in what they're trying to do. The camera didn't actually have to do anything beyond like a straightforward view. And Spyro I think did it well compared to a lot of games that were coming out.
So what role do those fairies, do the little Tinkerbells serve?
I don't think they were in a lot of the other games. The fairies kind of had like just they save your game, they appear, they let you replay the dragon's vet message. Oh, this level's kind of boring. That's the beauty of this game. Like the hub world stuff, kind of like Mario 64, where you have the overall world, you can go and collect coins and stuff, but there's gems in the overworld, but within it you can go and check out any level you want at any point. You're not married to linear progression, so that was Stonehill. We should try out...
So you said you played this game a lot, Tim, right?
Yeah, I loved... It came around to that time that just collecting things was it for games.
Sure.
And it was super satisfying. Oh, this is a little secret, guys. If we jump on all 5 of these platforms, we're going to get a flight level. And then I'm going to let you guys try it out.
What?
Oh, boy. Look at that.
Yeah, in terms of the collecting, one of the guys who worked on the game, Mark Cerny, he created Marble Madness. He worked on, I believe, all 3 of Naughty Dog's Crash Bandicoot games, including Crash Bash,
nice.
that party game.
All right,
he's just kind of a genius designer when it comes to secrets and level design.
So
That's awesome. Spitfire with circle.
Oh, man, you already failed.
Yeah, and you're going to try to not... Yeah, if you'd be super precise on these levels, I remember that. And there's different sets of items that you have to take down, like barrels in this instance. These flight levels were ridiculously hard. You had to get it down to a science.
So, Tim, did you like unlock everything in these games then? I know you're kind of a completionist a lot of times.
I got pretty damn close as far as these games went. There's a lot of hidden things. For sure, Ripto's Rage, the second Spyro, and Year of the Dragon, I got everything, but I think I got all but the 12th Dragon Age. There's 12 Dragon Eggs. I said Dragon Age. That's a whole different thing now.
Yeah.
But I got almost everything.
I actually wrote the strategy guides, I believe, for all 3 Spyros that Insomniac made for PlayStation. I wrote the strategy guides for Game Informer.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So,
Reiner's trying out the flight now.
I don't remember the strategy.
How long did you guys keep playing the Spyro games before you kind of gave up on the series?
After Insomniac gave up. You know, I played the next couple, but once Insomniac was once they lost, I guess, the rights to it.
Yeah.
Universal, the publisher of this game with Sony, they retained the rights, and Insomniac went on to obviously make the Ratchet and Clank games. Oh, I do have to shoot those. I thought I had to ram them.
Yeah, Ted Price actually was asked whether it was painful having created the Spyro series and then moving on and seeing someone else handle the franchise, and he was pretty straightforward and said that it wasn't really a big deal to him. They kind of reached a point in development of these games that Spyro. He actually says that Spyro didn't have any hands, so he kind of pretty much they sapped him for everything he was worth because he didn't have hands, so he can fly and ram and spit fire and do all these different things, and they milked him for all he was worth, and there wasn't any other places they could take him, so they started making the Ratchet games.
Interesting.
Man, this still controls really well.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I was surprised when I got the controller. It's pretty... It still feels nice. Do you know if these games are available at all on the PSN downloadable?
Yeah, the first 3 are all available on PSN.
Great. I think I might check those out because I've always loved Insomniac, and I just have not had the chance to play these games.
And the beauty, too, is that you don't have to worry about babysitting the camera as much, so it works on the PSP.
Sure.
So you just load it up on there, and you don't have to worry about not having an analog stick.
I don't think I'm going to do this, guys.
Well, I have to worry about babysitting the camera, so...
Oh, come on, Spyro.
I don't blame you. Let's try, let's give
close.
another level a shot. I'll take the controller back. No, we won't try again, because that's hard. Yeah, there was actually between 1998 and 1998 and 2008, Spyro game released every year, sometimes multiple Spyro games. Yeah. They had the short-lived... actually, they had 3 Game Boy Advance ones. Mm-hmm. One of them including the Swaparoo. They kind of do like Spyro in Crash Bandicoot's world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that had happened.
Yeah. It was. It's pretty interesting. It was called Spyro Orange, The Cortex Conspiracy. It came out in 2004. And then there was a Crash game that came out for the Game Boy Advance that took place in Spyro's world. So they kind of did a Jetsons Meet the Flintstones type thing.
Actually, that could be really interesting as like an actual console game. Although probably not with what the kind of like developers that get to work on these games now, unfortunately.
I wouldn't mind seeing Ratchet fly down to Spyro's world. That'd be a nice way of Insomniac revisiting Spyro, maybe just for one level.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see, especially as the Spyro games evolved, when they were handled by Insomniac anyway, their humor kind of started to grow and become more involved, and the Spyro games got pretty funny actually. But then once they started coming out with the Ratchet games, I noticed that it was much better suited for their kind of goofiness.
Sure.
Here it just kind of seemed kiddie. Ratchet, it seemed a little bit more
charming.
Smart. Yeah.
Did you do you remember the ending when you got 100% in this game?
Yeah, you got a secret ending.
Yeah, there was Spyro wearing sunglasses being interviewed by a TV station.
I did get that.
About all of his riches and saving the world, and then there's a teaser for the next game, which just shows 2 dragons getting zapped by Nasty Nork again.
Oh, that's nice.
Huh. Interesting.
So one thing that I loved about these games is like those shields. You get so used to flaming all the enemies, but when they have that up, they actually can deflect it. If I can, I'll give this guy a shot. All right, pull up your shield, pal. Yeah, I can deflect it. I thought that was so cool. And then he's toast after he puts that down. Light some fires.
Oh,
Nice.
secret? No.
Oh, there might be more torches. Or maybe that's just for mood setting.
The soundtrack was also awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Which is done by Stuart Copeland, who was the drummer for The Police.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did the first 4 Spyro games. And he actually did, so he composed something for each overworld, and then within each level, within each overworld, he did a song, and everything sounds so different and fits the mood so well.
So I know we might, maybe at some point we'll get to some of the other Spyro games, so I don't want to talk about them too much, but is there anything big that they change in the future PS1 Spyro games? Like anything really new that they add, or is it just lots of iteration on the formula?
It seemed their ideas for the sequels was adding characters, different gameplay dynamics. I mean, like they said, like I said in that quote, they did everything they could with Spyro, so it was only natural to start adding other characters. Like there's a hunter who was a cheetah that had like a bow and arrow, and they would help out Spyro.
And that was playable?
Yeah, I think in the second one or the third one they finally became playable. For sure, the new characters were introduced in the second one, and there was actually like a shooter minigame where you'd play as Sparks. It was kind of like a top-down shooter. That was a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah, and that's another thing you see them kind of exploring in the Ratchet and Clank games later on as well, where in the future ones they kind of add in more playable characters or add in like sections where you're playing as like side characters and different gameplay types.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is the characters they added weren't dragons. Like there was Mr. Moneybags, he was like some kind of mole or something.
Yeah.
There was the cheetah.
There's a
all sorts of
penguin with
different animals that just kind of, I don't know, made the universe a little confusing in my opinion.
Yeah, and so they really established like a kind of the art aesthetic in the first game. And the new characters, some of them just didn't fit right. Their eyes looked weird. And
like you said, like a cheetah. Like this is all fantasy. Like we're a dragon. Yes, there's sheep and stuff like that, but that's just kind of ambient animals in the world, whereas these guys are just like cool looking creatures.
Yeah.
And it would have been cool if they kept exploring or adding more dragons or exploring new types of creatures and stuff like that. But yeah, it got a little too close to home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to hunt down the boss's lair. I think it's Toasty is a scarecrow boss we're trying to hunt down. We'll find him eventually here. But yeah, the Spyro also got different power-ups, which we'll see whenever we get to those games. But he gathered different power-ups, and he had like a super fireball. And one of some of the most fun parts of the game were when he'd get like his super charge, and you'd have to go up like these charge ramps, and then it would charge you into these super huge long glides.
Cool.
Those were great. Oh, here we go.
Where do you think the series went wrong? Like, I mean, obviously, going away from Insomniac was one thing, but what is it about the Spyro formula that other developers couldn't keep it up?
Well, they just couldn't iterate, like, or recreate what Insomniac did.
Yeah.
They tried, like I said, Mark Cerny, brilliant designer, not having him on board for the Spyro games, obviously, but, that hurt. I mean, they just had the expertise in making these games, and like Tim said, pumping them out one a year. I mean, that's not a lot of time to really, explore what another developer's done and try to one-up that, because that's what you want from your sequels. So it got really weird. They incorporated like aliens into the games.
What?
They just lost their identity.
Yeah, it went awry. The most recent one that came out was that Year of the Dragon.
Was that
Dawn of the Dragon?
Dawn of the Dragon. It was like a big
right?
open world game, and it kind of had the right feel, just not the right gameplay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, here we go. Here's the boss. Yeah, bosses are pretty simple in this game, but they actually tried to reboot the series with The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning in 2006.
Running into a wall.
And apparently the reboot didn't work as planned because there hasn't been a game since 2008. So maybe
they did a couple of current gen ones, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the last one. That was made it to 360 and
Gotcha.
Oh,
so that was the boss right there. He
Foiled.
wasn't actually a scarecrow. It was just a sheep on stilts.
it reminds me of the old the commercials that you saw in a lot of these when Spyro was coming out. It was all about him just tearing apart sheep and starting them on fire, which is the basis for any good ad.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we'll call that a wrap on Spyro.
400 gems almost.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to
Yeah.
go check these out on PSN because I've always wanted to get into this series.
I definitely recommend it. Yeah, this game's aged quite well, and it's a good look at how Insomniac got their start from, that led up to games like Resistance and, the stellar Ratchet and Clank series. So,
But make sure you play these first three. Don't venture beyond that.
yes.
There's a lot of pain and suffering involved when you do that.
Yeah. No, even sadomasochists should avoid the newer games. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for Replay Roulette. All right, everyone. Welcome to Replay Roulette. You've seen what we randomly generated in the Replay Roulette, and we are playing EA's Future Cop LAPD.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
Welcome to FMVs.
And man, the future sucks.
Reiner, do you remember this game? Did you play this?
I remember this game.
right.
I did not play a lot of this game.
The future is grainy.
Oh boy. Oh, tattooed. That girl is edgy.
You are going the wrong way.
That looks like a
They're mech. Is this a mech game?
confused at.
Is this a mech game? Oh
It was
boy.
a transformer. Maybe a triple changer.
Oh, the elusive triple changeroo.
Let's
Man, this
Let's
is
stop
something
this
so
thing.
far.
Oh, wait.
nice.
Oh man, this isn't going to end well for that thing.
Whoa, was that a tomato?
Yeah, someone threw a tomato at it.
That's
Or was it a
uncalled for.
child? I don't know.
Yeah, that's how fearsome those mechs
Whoa.
are. People are brave enough to throw tomatoes at
Did
them.
you see that giant loading screen? Loading in progress, huge letters.
Let's check out the single player to start with. See what this.
This is X1 Alpha. LA.
Yeah.
Oops.
I'd say that was probably the right decision.
I just skipped that.
Oh, you select your zone.
Oh, and beautiful Griffin Park. Griffith
We're going to
Park.
start in Nebraska.
X1 Alpha. X1 Alpha.
Oh, boy.
Code 3.
That
Yep, that looks pretty good.
that building didn't have a lot of pixels in it.
This is a mech game, huh? Oh,
All right. Looks like we're looking at an... Oh, boy.
I don't know what we're looking at.
Listen to this music.
This music is
gosh.
incredible.
This music is truly what I expect to be playing
Are those
constantly in the
civilians?
future.
I'm just shooting like Captain Kirk guys here.
You are in the LAPD. I mean, I'm pretty sure shooting down civilians.
Is this like a Star Trek convention? Look at these outfits. And why is everybody Kirk?
They all look like
Where's the love for
captains,
Where's the love for Spock or the red crewmate?
Yeah, technically they should all be... It's blue shirts, right?
They're shooting lasers at you, yeah. This is happening.
Man. How many frames of animation are there on the enemies when they fall? That's rough. So what do you remember about this game there, Reiner?
That it sucked, and I think that memory is coming back loud and clear.
What are those eyes? There are eyes on the blocks.
But no one would ever know that except for you playing the game from a top-down perspective.
Doesn't make any sense.
Whoa.
Nice dodging
Can
skills.
you jump?
Yeah, is there a jump button?
It kind of has, I don't know if you guys remember the Desert Strike series.
Uh-huh.
It kind of has a feel like that, but
Those were good, weren't they?
yeah, but obviously, as you're seeing from the animation and just kind of vagueness of what I'm doing here.
Looking at the back of the case, one of their advertisements is some of the best explosions ever seen, which apparently
Well, you want to see one? I'm going to hopefully blow this thing up.
during the PlayStation era, that was a big selling point. That mech is bigger than you.
Why don't you crack open that case and look at the instruction manual? Let's
Astounding.
see if there's anything interesting in there. All right, great. Flipping through the construction manual, the instruction
Seriously, I
manual,
really feel bad for
whatever.
shooting all these Captain Kirk guys. I feel like those are our people, you know what I mean? Like,
No, they're fellow dorks, and here they are stuck inside of Future Cop, LAPD.
Those are
Only to
those
be-
are criminal gangs, so you know.
I don't know about
Yellow is
that.
their color. They're all ensigns. Jeez, Louise. I'm feeling like we need to have a bout here, Reiner.
Yeah,
Says,
I don't think there's versus. It's co-op, isn't it?
That's what it looked like.
Well, we need to.
Just press start, jump in.
Wish every game had that. Like,
Hold on, there's a trash can here. Oh, and there was a Kirk in there,
I'll
too.
tell you,
Here's
this
a-
game belongs in a trash can.
Here's a choice quote from the manual. Armed with some state-of-the-art firepower,
Well-
you've got a chance to serve, protect, ... and survive.
Oh boy.
Oh, man. Well, I'm just going to park it here. This is a nice parking lot, so we'll just pull up right...
Can you transform?
That looks pretty good right there, right?
I like that.
Um,
Oh man.
I got the close-up camera. There we go. Little leg kick for the ladies.
Let me give this a shot. I'm gonna relinquish the controls and see if the close-up camera helps anything. Oh man.
Oh, that does not
I
look
like how you
it's
immediately
helping.
went for the analog stick.
little
It's
dance,
predates
yeah.
analog.
Yeah, it's a easy mistake to make these days. Oh man. So what's our objective here? Oh, this thing looks like it'd be shot down.
Yeah, you need to go through there.
Yeah, destroy this thing. Kill it. Yes. Yes. You'll all die. I like the strafing ability, actually. That's pretty handy. This would be a very
I was actually
cumbersome
kind of
game.
having a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Is it maybe a little bit more fun than it looks?
Yes.
All right.
We can give it that much.
It's just mindless chaos, and you don't see that very often anymore.
No, much like the Apocalypse episode of Replay, there's just something about these kinds of games that appeals to us. They're used to involve storylines now and
So-
checkpoint systems and
Speaking of involved storylines, I found out that the gang members you're fighting here are called the Observers, and
they're doing a lot more than that, from what I can tell.
they are run by Miles Mysterio, who I think is a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
There might be some infringement there.
Yeah. Reload action button.
That's really clarifying it for me. Thanks. Oh boy. This is apparently this isn't how you jump out of a pit. There you go. Little bunny hop there. I don't know what blows up and what doesn't. Man, this is a game that I'd say has mixed results.
It's like 8 levels. So there's a lot of game here.
Yeah, this is I want
So
to
do you
kill
think
everything.
they watched like RoboCop and went, man, that Ed 209 character is pretty sweet. Let's make a game about that.
Hopefully, there's no stairs in this game. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
he
the
had
final
some problems
boss.
with those.
Yeah, stairs is probably the final boss.
What's that thing right there? That looks important.
I've been trying to blow everything up, but apparently that's folly.
Some things you just shoot right through.
Oh boy.
Oh,
What are these little
Looks like targeting is a little rough. Like, you can't quite always target what you want to.
No, it's pretty much on what you point at.
It might have been
I think
a
you can
different
switch
story.
it with L1 or R1, one of the two.
Would have been a different story if they had dual analog sticks back then. Oh boy, that would have been a treat with this. Oh yeah, like I can jump up there.
It's kind of funny watching you try.
Oh boy.
I sort of want to end the video on you just like running against a wall trying to jump up.
Well, it's probably going to happen regardless. Well, that's Future Cop LAPD. This is potentially one of the most mediocre games we've popped in for this. Not stupid enough to totally rip apart, and not awesome enough to recommend to playing.
It's not good.
Pretend this game doesn't exist. Carry on with your life as if before you saw this replay roulette.
I think I will.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.